So this video I'm basically going to talk about how to factor. So factoring is the opposite of the distributive property basically. So if I said 5 times the quantity of x plus 3, that would be 5x plus 15. Wondering how you got that? I multiplied the 5 by the x and the 5 by the 3. So that's basically how I got that. So that's the distributive property. So factoring would be if I had 5x minus 15. I'm going to take out the GCF, the greatest common factor, which would be 5. I can multiply 5 into 5x and 5 into negative 15. I mean 5 times x minus 3. So that's what I'd basically doing if I were to talk about factoring. So if I were to factor in expressions, say, I don't know, 3x squared plus 6x plus 9. There are two ways you can factor this. Actually, no, there's technically only one way, but you could do it if you've not yet known how to factor quadratics, which is when you have a polynomial raised to the second degree. That basically means the highest exponent is squared. But what do you do first? You do 3 times x squared, because 3 times something, you take 3 out, because you know 3 goes into 3, 6, and 9. Say, well, 3 goes into x, 3x squared, x squared number of times, because 3 times x squared equals 3x squared, plus 2x plus 3, because 3 times 2x is 6x, and 3 times 3 is 9. So you basically get this, and you can actually factor this down even more. It's like, what? But there's no GCF. I mean, I can do 1, but that's not going to work. So that's when we get to the actual, I guess, more complicated factoring. So that's x squared plus 2x plus 3. X squared plus 2x, 1 second, 2x plus 3. I'm going to say, okay, how do you factor this? The first thing you got to do is you have to look at this. I could teach you a complicated way, or I could teach you a really simple way. I'm going to teach you the simple way that actually really helped me learn this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the coefficient of x, the number before. It doesn't have one, but it's technically 1. So what you call this is, you call the standard form of a quadratic a coefficient x squared plus bx, b is other coefficient, and c is a constant or number. Okay, so I'm flooding you with way too many things right now. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna multiply the coefficient of this first term, x squared, which would be 1, and multiply it by the constant 3. So 1 times 3 is 3. So you have to think of a number that multiplies to, I'm actually changing that question because I just realized that question is not possible. This question is possible. Think of a number that multiplies to negative 3 because this is a negative 3x. Oh my god, I'm a mess. This is a negative 3. This is not a positive 3. So I think of a number that multiplies to negative 3 but adds to negative 2. So you list out the factor pairs. For 3, it's basically just 3 and 1. So what you're going to do is you're going to split the middle term, and what that means is you're going to write it like this. X squared. So minus 3 plus 1 gives you negative 2. It adds to negative 2, but negative 3 times 1 gives you negative 3. So what you're going to write it as is x squared plus x minus 3x minus 3. So x minus 3x still gives you 2x. So this is the same thing, but you're going to factor it out individually. You're going to factor this, and you're going to factor this. So what you're going to do is you're going to write x times x plus 1. And this is where the first part of the video is useful, because you have to know x is a GCF, minus 3 times x plus 1. And make sure you put, if it's minus 3, use the negative, because that's really important. Because negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. And this is the GCF. If you have, say these are just two terms, imagine these are two numbers like 5x and minus 15. X plus 1 is like the 5 in there, except you can see that it's 5 times x minus 5 times 3. So you can, this like x plus 1 is like the 5. So you'd write x plus 1 as your GCF, and then you'd write x minus 3 in the brackets, except x plus 1 is there. So it'd be x plus 1 times x minus 3. Looks like an h. So that's how you basically factor a quadratic. So let's just say this were like I guess a not 1, this or 2. You'd say, well, a number that multiplies negative 6 but adds to negative 2. That's not possible. So you call that prime or not factorable, depending on whatever you've learned. I just say it's not factorable. Some people call it prime. It really depends, up to you. But generally people go by prime. Oh, cool, that's a marker. Either way, I'm going to give you guys one last example. Just say you have 6. No, I'm going to make this a bit simpler, so I can actually think of, so it's faster to solve. Let's say I have 3x squared plus 6x plus, what's 3 times 9? 27 plus 9. What you would originally do, you could factor this, but what you do is you take out the GCF of 3 and do x squared plus 2x plus 3, and then this is actually prime, this equation, because that's what we got first. But you take it off, you take this out, and then you factor whatever's in the brackets if you could. That's my tutorial on factoring. Hope you guys learned something from it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.